Tonight on NewsVision, with several hurricanes and cyclones swirling in the Atlantic Ocean right now, the United States are gearing up for another storm. Our weathercaster Jackson Dill tells us if Miami should be worried. Plus, the Homecoming Executive Committee has revealed the homecoming theme for this year, leaving many on campus excited for what's to come, and it's out of this world. And later on, after dominating Bethune-Cookman University, the Miami Hurricanes football team returns to Hard Rock Stadium to take on Central Michigan University. And one player is getting national recognition for his play this past week. We'll tell you who tonight. NewsVision starts right now.
Our top story, tracking the tropics. Tonight, forecasters are watching 6 different areas of concern in the Atlantic, including 2 hurricanes. And right now, one of those areas is impacting part of the United States.
Good evening and welcome to the first NewsVision show of the semester. I'm Grace Smith.
And I'm Dave Downey. Good to see everyone. We'll have more on that flooding in Texas in a moment.
But first, UMTV weathercaster Jackson Dill is here with a look at everything that's going on in the tropics and our forecast here at home. Jackson?
Well, September is the most active time of the year for the tropics, guys, and that's definitely living out to its name right now. There's 6 areas that we're watching right now here in the Atlantic Basin, including 2 hurricanes, Umberto and Jerry, as well as 3 areas to watch for potential tropical development as we get into next week. So Jerry is the one that we want to focus on right now because that is the closest one to impacting land. The National Hurricane Center expects Jerry to strengthen into a Category 2 hurricane as it passes north and east of the Leeward Islands the next couple days. And then we're going to see the storm take a northward turn toward Bermuda as we get into early next week. So we're definitely going to watch the progress of this storm for potential impacts. Tropical storm watches are in effect for Antigua and Barbuda, as well as other portions of the Leeward Islands for potential tropical storm force winds and some heavier rain bands. And this is the general steering pattern for where Jerry is going to go. Right now it's south of this high pressure, so that's going to steer toward the west. But then there's going to be this little area of weakness in the ridge. So that's going to allow for the storm to escape to the north and get picked up by the dip in the jet stream, allowing for the storm to stay away from the east coast of the U.S., guys.
Thanks, Jax. We'll still be watching all those storms, like you said, here in the peak of hurricane season. Meanwhile, areas of southeast Texas are facing serious flash flooding following the hit of Tropical Storm Imelda.
Rising water levels are trapping people in their homes and cars, and authorities say they have received thousands of calls for rescue. Some people are making their way to higher ground as southeastern Texas experiences extremely dangerous flooding.
We look at the driveway, if you can't see the road, it's time to go.
It was just rising and rising, and it's been like this for hours.
Others hunkering down and riding out the storm.
We have furniture up on canned goods, on pots, on everything that we could get our hands on. It's going to be okay. It's just a house.
Parts of the area receiving nearly 3 feet of rain since Imelda made landfall on Tuesday, covering roads and trapping people in vehicles and homes. In Vitter, Texas, Michael Stevens says no one can evacuate his apartment complex because the water is too deep.
It's pretty, I'd say, catastrophic. You have cars that are in the apartment complex that are beginning to float. We're cut off from everybody. All the highways and roads are shut down.
In Beaumont, Texas, officials say they've received hundreds of calls for rescues. The National Weather Service and Houston officials telling residents unless you already have flooding in your house, stay indoors.
I am going to encourage everyone, wherever you are, please stay where you are.
Imelda is the first named storm to hit Houston since Hurricane Harvey in August 2017. There have been no immediate reports of injuries or deaths. And in the Bahamas, people are remembering the lives lost during Hurricane Dorian with a national prayer service in the capital of Nassau. It comes more than a week and a half after the Category 5 hurricane devastated the islands. Bahamas Faith Ministries International held the event to honor more than 50 people who were killed and 1,500 others still missing. The Bahamas will also have a national day of mourning, but the date has not yet been announced.
Now back here at home, there's a new dean here at the School of Communication that is breaking barriers.
That's right, and she has a new plan for the school that she explained to students and faculty just a couple of hours ago. UMTV reporter Tyler Walsh has the latest from the school's courtyard. Tyler, who is the new dean?
Thanks, guys. That's right. The new dean at the School of Communications is the school's first ever female dean. Today, she discusses her plans with faculty and students for her plans for the future. Karen Gwynn Wilkins comes to us from the University of Texas at Austin as an associate dean. She has her master's and PhD degrees from the University of Pennsylvania and has written 13 books centered around communication studies. The Dean's event in Studio A this evening was focused on students and faculty getting to know her and learn more about her vision for the future. UMTV spoke with her at the event today.
So when I'm thinking about what we're going to do here, I'm caring about excellence in what we do, and that we do what we do with integrity, and we care about our impact. I also want you to stay connected to the school when you graduate, because you are forming life-lasting bonds. And as you graduate, I want you to be part of this community. I want communication to matter, and I want what we do here to have significance. So help me think through how we can do that.
Now, Dean Wilkins says trading in UT Austin for UM School of Communication was an opportunity that she could not pass up. Dean Wilkins is the 4th Dean of the School of Communication, succeeding Dean Gregory Shepard, who retired at the end of last semester. Reporting live for UMTV, I'm Tyler Walsh. Back to you guys at the studio.
Yeah, thanks. Going to be really interesting to see what Dean Wilkins has in store for us this year. We'll have even more on our new Dean on next week's NewsVision. Reporter Sharon Dankwa sits down with Dean Wilkins for a one-on-one interview. You can catch that right here next Thursday at 7 p.m.
Flu season is upon us, and the UM Student Health Center is offering flu shots to all faculty, staff, and students. Although it is early in the season, some influenza cases have already been reported on campus. To register for a flu shot online, go to mystudенthealth.miami.edu and select flu shot for the visit reason. Locations throughout campus will be set up as well, and these pop-up vaccination spots have already started. One just wrapped up at the Heck-Stamford Bridge moments ago, but you still have a dozen more opportunities this semester. The next one is a week from today at Mahoney Pearson from 5:30 to 7. If you can't make that one, 3 more follow the week after. You can find all the dates on the Student Affairs website under the Immunization tab.
We now turn to another health issue to find out what has people staying clear of Key Biscayne waters.
UMTV reporter Tommy Fletcher has a story.
It wasn't the waves or the wind keeping Jeremy Pruitt out of the water at Key Biscayne September 10th. It was bacteria.
I'm just glad that somebody's doing the testing to where they can be aware that there is something to be worried about in the water, to where they can give a warning to the public so that families like mine don't end up in the water unwittingly.
That warning coming from the Florida Department of Health. They issued a no swim advisory 5 days earlier because of higher than normal levels of bacteria found in poop. Normal levels are below 35 strains of bacteria per 100 milliliters of water, or about 3 shot glasses full. Advisories are issued when they reach double that amount.
But it's not just happening here on Key Biscayne, it's happening all over South Florida, and more often too.
Since July, these advisories have been issued at least 3 times from Hallover Beach down to Crandon Park. But Dr. Helena Solo-Gabriel, who studies bacteria at UM, says they're not for the reasons you may think.
Could be due to a lot of different factors, and you can see huge variations between nighttime, daytime, tidal conditions, rainfall, not rainfall.
Regardless of reason, the Department of Health is not saying how many or if any people have gotten sick, but Dr. Solo-Gabriel says you should still play it safe.
If it's present, there have been studies that have shown that there's a higher probability of getting sick than when it's not present.
Jeremy, who is visiting from Jacksonville with his family, is following that advice.
We weren't sure what it was about, so once we were informed, we just figured, well, we'll stay away from the water. That's no problem at all.
And he says he's making the best out of what you could call a pretty crappy situation.
But we're not going to let that affect our spirits. It's beautiful anyway, and there'll be another day.
On Key Biscayne, Tommy Fletcher, UMTV.
That swim advisory was lifted yesterday, but officials say there are still heightened levels of bacteria in some areas.
Tonight, federal prosecutors say the American Airlines mechanic accused of tampering with a plane at Miami International Airport in July has ties to terrorism. Abdul Majid Alani was in federal court yesterday. Prosecutors say he had ISIS-related videos on his phone and called for God to take revenge on non-Muslims. They also claim he sent money to someone in Iraq. Alani allegedly tampered with a flight control system on a Boeing 737 heading to the Bahamas with 150 people on board. He is being held without bond tonight. And a scare in the air for passengers on a Delta flight heading to Fort Lauderdale from Atlanta yesterday. Passengers described a minute and a half of chaos as their plane descended nearly 30,000 feet in just over 8 minutes. The airline says a problem with the cabin's pressure caused the plane's oxygen mask to drop and force an emergency landing in Tampa. No one was hurt, but it did not end there for the passengers. They were bused from Tampa all the way to Fort Lauderdale.
Oh my gosh, talk about a nightmare day of travel.
You go through that, and then you have to have the 4.5-hour bus ride from Tampa across Alligator Alley to Fort Lauderdale. Just
absolutely
a nightmare.
insane. Still ahead on NewsVision, Jackson is back with another check on the forecast.
But first, this year's homecoming theme has been revealed, and it's out of this world. We have footage and student reactions from the event last Friday.
And Dr. Pat Whiteley once again served up hot cakes to students during Pancakes with Pat. We have all the details coming up right after a short break.
Green red hat. Oops. Red shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt. Oops. Yellow pants, red pants, green pants. Oops.
We left this bag unattended in the dining hall and set up hidden cameras to see what would happen. It only took 14 seconds. If only it were this easy to spot a thief. Remember, keep it with you, keep it safe. We left these two phones unattended in the wellness center and set up hidden cameras to see what would happen. It only took 13 seconds. If only it were this easy to spot a thief. Remember to lock before you lift.
Last Friday, the University of Miami Homecoming Committee announced this year's theme at the Rathskeller. Events start Monday, November 4th, and last through the final home game against Louisville that same Saturday. The theme this year, Ready to Launch. Coral Gables will turn into Cape Canaveral for a week with 10 events built around Sebastian's next great adventure. And homecoming executives are really excited for what's to come.
We did the theme all summer and all of the spring, and now we're just planning all of our events. We have 10 events throughout the week. And we have a 35-person committee who's been amazing. So we're excited for everyone to come out there.
Homecoming is no fun without teams, though. For more information on how to sign up, visit their Facebook page.
Late night snacks are incredibly popular among college students. And if they're paired with meeting the Vice President of Student Affairs, well, it makes it an even tastier treat. Our reporter Justin Stevens has more.
When college students hear about free food, they come running. And if the food is pancakes, they'll wait in line. On this night, students were treated to Pancakes with Pat, where students are served pancakes by Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Patricia Whiteley. For sophomore Madison Klinger, it means more than just getting free pancakes.
She's a really prominent figure on campus, and sometimes like being able to have her down here and actually interact with the student body is a good time to like meet her when you can't really see her on a day-to-day basis.
Dr. Whiteley served over 2,000 pancakes to more than 1,100 students and thinks the event benefits everyone.
You know, it's just an opportunity to get everybody together and to do something different and to do something fun. And then for me to have an opportunity to just say hello to students and for them to know who I am.
And while getting to know her, students can choose from a variety of toppings, including fruit, whipped cream, and chocolate chips, making this a sweet night.
Like, people really like it, and even the seniors came over tonight, so this is our 3rd year. So I think it's just something fun and something different on a Wednesday night, kind of, you know, it's like it's off the regular cycle of the things that we do.
But for Madison, the community is what makes this event special.
I really like how I can be able to step outside and see everybody from every community around campus and all just join together to eat pancakes.
For UMTV, I'm Justin Stevens.
Oh, that looks so good, but it's not time for food, it's time for weather.
Yeah, weather forecaster Jackson Dill has the details on why it was a little bit cooler out there today. Jackson?
It's all about the dew point. That's one of the measures of humidity. So look, this is the current dew point reading right now, 66 degrees. That indicates a somewhat moderately humid air mass. And normally for this time of the year, we're in the mid-70s, so this is a definitely nice reprieve from the humidity. Unfortunately, it doesn't last too long. Right now, the current temperature is 83 degrees with a generally clear sky, so it's definitely a great evening out here in South Florida. So 83 in Miami, 84 in the Keys, 81 a bit cooler up in Fort Lauderdale. So definitely a very nice evening here in South Florida. And there's a few showers sprinkled around the area, but definitely pretty dry for most locations. You can see the sun setting across the region, making it hard to see the clouds on the visible satellite feature. Winds have been gusty today, currently sustained northeast at 13 miles per hour here in Miami, and that's been the general trend, saying that's been helping for the lower humidity levels moving across the region. Let's take a look at the humidity emoji cast. Yeah, very nice right now. Humid, but it feels refreshing here. But as we progress the forecast out in time, you're going to see the forecast go out. And so you're going to see humidity levels increase again as we get into tonight and definitely tomorrow. It's going to be back to the moist conditions. So enjoy it while it lasts because it's not going to last too much longer. Here's the future cast. Clear as we get into tonight besides a few spotty showers around, but definitely pretty dry for tonight. And then as we get into tomorrow, you're going to see a few more showers and storms around, but generally dry again. Just have your umbrella at hand just in case any storms pop up. And then as we get into Saturday, Friday night, storms will become a little more widespread, but pretty dry for the most part here across South Florida. We have a big game this weekend, and there will be that chance for storms. Here, storms will be in the forecast throughout the game. Temperatures will be right around the mid-80s, so definitely a pretty good game day, pretty typical for late September here at Miami Gardens. So tonight, 79 degrees is going to be the low, mainly dry, chance for a thunderstorm around. As we get into tomorrow, it's going to be a pretty similar story. Temperatures will get up to the mid-80s. Watch for a passing shower, but pretty dry for the most part. Here's the 7-day forecast again. There's that chance for rain tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Temperatures in the mid-80s. And then we're going to see a bit more of a drier regime as we get into the start of next week with generally sunny skies and high temperatures in the mid-80s, guys. So lots of great weather to look forward to next week.
Thanks, Jackson. Hopefully that's the last time we don't have to see any 90-degree readings on that 7-day forecast. The humidity might be gone. We'll have to see about it.
I agree. It's fall time. It should start getting cold. I want to wear sweaters. I want to drink lattes. I'm done with this 90-degree weather.
It's pumpkin spice latte season. That's right.
And that forecast on Saturday, I hope those storms stay away. And speaking of sports, up next, Hurricane football is coming off their first win of the season.
But what's next for the new Miami? Sports anchor Maxwell Trink has the answer after the break. Don't go away.
There. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it. What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
I'm sports anchor Maxwell Trink. Last week, the new Miami Hurricanes recorded their first victory under head coach Manny Diaz. And a big reason why was quarterback Jaron Williams. The redshirt freshman was even named ACC Rookie of the Week. Williams had a 79.2 completion percentage in last Saturday's victory against Bethune-Cookman. While he did not play all 60 minutes, Williams finished with 254 yards on 19 completions against the Wildcats. The Georgia native has now started all 3 games for Miami and is expected to be in the lineup against Central Michigan. And speaking of Central Michigan, the Canes have their eyes on a 500 record as they are set to face the Central Michigan Chippewas Saturday afternoon at Hard Rock Stadium. Miami is coming off its biggest win since last season's 77-0 victory over Savannah State. The Canes dominated with a 63-0 final score against Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. The Chippewas have already been shut down by a Power 5 conference opponent this season. Central Michigan lost to number 13 Wisconsin 61-0 in Week 1. The Hurricanes are looking for the same luck in Miami Gardens at 4 p.m. Saturday. Women's tennis star Estela Perez-Somariva, is ranked number 2 in the Oracle ITA standings to start up the 2019-2020 season. The senior from Madrid is the reigning NCAA singles champion and finished second overall at the end of last season. Perez-Somariva has won the ACC Player of the Year award twice and has been in the top 2 since March 5th. That's a 6-month span. Hurricanes women's tennis starts their season tomorrow night as part of the Miami Fall Invite here in Coral Gables. With the kickoff of soccer season, the Hurricanes are back at Cobb Stadium, and one new student section is bringing in some new student supporters. UMTV reporter Gianna Sanchez has the story.
The home opener for the women's soccer team started off with a horn? No, this isn't the 2010 World Cup. This is a University of Miami soccer game.
I went to their opening game, and it was a lot of fun seeing the crowd there, everybody cheering on the women's soccer team, and it was just good energy, and I think it's a great thing to encourage more students to come out to those games.
The women's soccer team's already trying to hype up this season by creating a student section called the Cobb Mob. They gave away these vuvuzelas at their home opener last week.
With soccer this year, we're really trying to build the student section, which is now called Cobb Mob. So we're really just trying to get as many students out as possible and support the soccer team.
So we really want to create a strong student section so both the players feel it, but also to make it a more fun experience for the students. And so Cat 5 will be taking a big role with that with help from athletics.
Together, athletics in Category 5 will be planning giveaways to get students to attend more games and add spirit to the designated student section.
It's just students, I think would really help to just kind of bring everyone together and hype them all up in one spot.
And so I think Cat 5 will be a big presence teaching students, like this is where you go, and passing out cheer sheets and Cat 5 will be leading the cheers and trying to teach them what the soccer experience looks like.
With the Cobb Mob in place, athletics and Cat 5 are hoping to increase student section attendance over the season. Gianna Sanchez, UMTV.
Homestead Miami Speedway hosts a bunch of fun events throughout the year, and last weekend was one of them, called the Ferrari Challenge. The event brings drivers and mechanics into Miami each fall from all over the world. Most of the drivers for the Ferrari Challenge are not professionals, as the event is more for fanatics of race cars, and Ferraris in particular. While the drivers may not be going as fast as a NASCAR event, it's still exciting for the racers to reach triple-digit speeds.
Go through the turns and the curves because that's where you get to dance a little bit with the car. But this particular track has two pretty fast turns. The first one over here, turn 1, and there's another one back here called turn 10. Turn 1, you're going definitely in the low hundreds.
The same result. Chilean Ferrari driver Ben Hitez won the event on both Saturday and Sunday.
Wow, what an exciting time for sports here in Miami.
Yeah, for sure. Are you guys going to the game?
For sure.
Absolutely.
More coming up on NewsVision after the break.
I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it. My support team never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew who I could become as a person. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Just waking up and going to school and learning, it makes me feel good as a person. I'm a single mother and I got pregnant and I was the main one working, so I did what I had to do to survive. I never thought that I could go back to school and get it, you know? My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
You're winning today.
We're so very proud of you and love you so much. Yeah, it's hard, but don't be afraid. Keep on going and keep on trying. You can do anything you want.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
One father who has been deployed in Iraq managed to surprise all 4 of his kids. Navy Chief Michael Forhan made his rounds to 3 different Florida schools in one day. Forhan started with his 2 elementary school sons, then went to his daughter's high school, and finally ended up at his son's middle school. Forhan's wife and kids have not seen him for 6 months, but they will get to spend some quality time with him over the next 2 weeks while he is on leave. Oh my goodness, what a tearjerker of a story.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Honestly, you can't beat that.
Such a great story. I always love to see those kinds of things.
Exactly. Well, that's all we have for our first edition of NewsVision for this semester. We made it through.
That's right, Grace. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to join us next Thursday for another episode of NewsVision. Until then, have a great night.